Hey there, House here. For this video, I wanted to take a look at each NFL division and let you know who I believe will win in each division. Now, I know I've been making these videos a little bit out of order, but after this one, I should be back on track, so just bear with me. All right, let's get this rolling, shall we? First, we're going to kick off with the AFC East and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who also now has Tyreek Hill to throw to, an offseason acquisition that they traded for. This will drastically improve this offense. Their defense was middle of the road last year, and their defense was middle of the road last year, and I don't expect that to get any worse this season. In my opinion, this won't be their season to win the division, but they are making great strides as a team. They will only go as far as Tua can take them, and if he can iron out some of his inconsistencies, this team will be very successful now and in the future. Next team in the division are the Buffalo Bills. They are the clear favorites to win this division. They have great offensive weapons and a defense that last year was tops in points per game allowed. The only thing that can get in their way is themselves, in my opinion. If they are able to recreate their efficiency that they showed everyone during the Bills-Chiefs playoff game, this league is going to be in trouble. Next team in the division are the New England Patriots. We are now in year 2 of the Mac Jones era. For stretches last year, we saw Jones be set loose for a bit and run the offense, while other times we saw him be limited by his experience. This year will be an important year for his development. They made the playoffs last year through defense and superior coaching by Belichick. If they make the playoffs again, it won't be through the division. And the last team of the AFC East are the New York Jets. The Jets are looking at Zach Wilson to be their guy at quarterback. He played well enough last year, but this year he's starting off on the injured list. The last thing that the Jets really want to do is rush him back to play, but also every game that he misses could be crucial development game for a young quarterback. They'll look to get him back on the field sooner rather than later, and until then, Joe Flacco is set to be the starter. Don't look for the Jets to do anything special here. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm picking the Bills to win the division. Next up, we have the AFC North. First team on there are the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers announced before the season started that Mitch Trubisky would be their starting quarterback. Trubisky brings with him some veteran presence, which the Steelers preferred over rookie quarterback Kenny Pickett. They still have a solid defense, and Najee Harris is looking to build off of his impressive rookie campaign. The Steelers could surprise some folks this year. Next team up are the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens still have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. He runs the offense through him. He can make all of the throws and is fast enough to run past the entire defense at will. They will be a tough out every week. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has been a mess all offseason. Kareem Hunt, the running back who revived his career with them, is looking for a way out. The Browns signed Deshaun Watson to a long-term, fully guaranteed contract. They got rid of Baker Mayfield. They then found out that Watson's going to be suspended, first for 6 games, then for 11 games. So they got rid of their original quarterback. They signed a problematic quarterback to a fully guaranteed deal, and their often utilized second running back wants out. Cleveland is going to have an interesting year for sure. The last team out of the AFC North are the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals lost in last year's Super Bowl, so expectations are high. They're going to be just as explosive with Burrow throwing to Chase. Their defense and offensive line leave more to be desired, but maybe a trade deadline acquisition or a free agent pickup could help them out. I see them, mainly because of their offense, as a team to beat and possibly make a run back to the Super Bowl. I'm picking the Bengals to win this very talented division. All right, next up we have the AFC South. The first team on here, the Houston Texans. The Texans are in the midst of a rebuild and for the time being will not be relevant for a few years. Next up we have the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are hoping that their 5th different full-time starting quarterback since 2018 will be the one that actually helps them get back to the playoffs since Andrew Luck retired. This year's quarterback is Matt Ryan, who has plenty of experience. He brings a little bit of a better arm and the ability to throw the deep ball better than Carson Wentz did, who was the starter last year. If the coaching staff remembers anything from last year, they'll remember that Jonathan Taylor is far and away their best player. He needs 20-plus touches a game for them to have a good chance at winning. The next team are the Tennessee Titans. Derrick Henry is coming off of injury, and Ryan Tannehill had his possible replacement drafted this year. Time might be running out for him to make a deep playoff run with one of the best running backs in the league. They traded away A.J. Brown, but acquired Robert Woods as a veteran receiver who can still take command of a game. The long and short of it is this isn't the year for the Titans to win the division. The last team in this division are the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are in the second year of the rebuild with plenty of talent on their roster. This year will be big for Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne Jr. to be on the field together and rebuild continuity that they had in their college for the remainder of their NFL careers. With that being said, their rebuild/development doesn't pave the way to a division title. I'm going to be picking the Indianapolis Colts to win this division. Hopefully they follow my YouTube channel and feed Taylor just like they know they should. All right, and the last division out of the AFC is the AFC West. This is probably the most intriguing and entertaining divisions in the AFC. First up, we have the LA Chargers. The Chargers are a team with immense talent from the quarterback position to running back to wide receiver. Their defense still has Joey Bosa on their side, as well as the acquisition of Khalil Mack will only help. They are the dark horse favorite to win this division. Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs traded away Tyreek Hill, but they still have Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Those two alone can carry this team very far. I imagine someone will emerge in the receiving corps to lend some assistance. The next team are the Denver Broncos. They made a trade for Russell Wilson. That alone is enough to get people excited about this team. Pair that with a talented second-year running back, Javonte Williams, and a defense that can get after the opposing quarterback, they have plenty to be excited about. Not enough to win the division, in my opinion. Last up in this division are the Las Vegas Raiders. Their big offseason splash was trading for Davante Adams, former college teammate of Derek Carr and one of the best receivers in the game right now, will only improve this Raiders offense. The running back game is suspect as of right now, but that is something that could get worked out later this season. The one thing these guys can't do is play defense. That is a glaring weakness for this team still. With that in mind, I'm picking the Chargers as I believe they finally have what it takes to win this division. On to the NFC, shall we? The first division in the NFC is the NFC East. First up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. No team in this division has been hyped up like the Eagles so far this year. With the trading of A.J. Brown and the impressive draft that they had, the expectations are high. The main unknown? Jalen Hurts. No one is really sure how he is going to fare this year. Will he play well over expectations with the newly acquired talent? Will he struggle mightily and force the Eagles to look for a replacement? We'll have to see how this season shakes out for him. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders. With a new quarterback at the helm and a new team name, the Commanders are hoping for more to root for this year than in years past. It's tough to say how well Carson Wentz will play for his third team in 3 years, but they still have weapons around him that will ease in the transition. Wentz could surprise some people and maybe regain his form that he once had as a member of the Eagles. If that happens, this team could be a very tough out. Next, we have the New York Giants. The Giants have a healthy Saquon Barkley. That will be the extent of their offense for the foreseeable future. The Giants have done very little to bring pieces together to help Barkley and this team be competitive. Daniel Jones is in his 4th year of his rookie contract, and the Giants have yet to exercise his 5th year. This could be his final year in the Giants uniform if he doesn't play the way that they believe he can. Lastly, for this division, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are a team with talent all around the football field, from the quarterback position to running back, wide receiver, and the defensive side of the ball as well. Their only obstacle? Themselves. They can never seem to get out of their own way. All the talent in the world does not seem to make a difference for them. I am not expecting them to win this year. I'm picking the Eagles to win this division. On to the NFC North. First up, we have the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings can beat you through the air and on the ground. They make it difficult to guess which star player they're going to utilize next, from Dalvin Cook to Justin Jefferson to Adam Thielen. This season, they'll go just as far as Kirk Cousins will take them. Their main question mark, for me, is the defense. Next team, the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a team that are expected to do so little this year that their over-under on wins for the season was set at 6.5. This is Justin Fields' second year, so this is mainly going to be the year we see more development from him, as well as what complementary players they stick with to build a winning team for the future. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions. The Lions are a lackluster bunch that never seem to perform well, even when they have an array of talented players on their roster. This year appears to be no different. They have talent at the running back and wide receiver position. They are missing it at the quarterback position, to be sure, and their defense was one of the worst last year. I don't expect much from them this year. Last up in this division, we have the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are going into this year as a little bit of an unknown. They traded away their best receiver in Davante Adams, and their offense has shifted. They have a receiving core comprised of old veterans and rookies. They have great running backs, but the utilization of them in this offense still isn't confirmed. Rodgers, in history's past, has shown that he can make a lot of players better than they actually are. Only time will tell how that plays out this season. Right now, my gut says that this revamped Packers offense will find its way and win this division. The next division is the NFC South. First up, we have the New Orleans Saints. The Saints have a healthy Jameis Winston and Michael Thomas. This will be the first time that they play together, so seeing how Thomas bounces back from barely playing for the past 2 years will dictate how successful this offense is. Their defense is still a very good one, so the early part of this season, while they go through their growing pains, can still have a few victories because of that defense. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs have the return of Tom Brady. With him, they always have a chance to be contenders. The offense has plenty of talent at the receiving core. The addition of Julio Jones is one that you wouldn't expect to help this team, but maybe he's able to regain some of his deep threat ability. Plus, Leonard Fournette has been very reliable since joining the Bucs. Also, their defense is one that still gets after the quarterback, so they are the definite contender to win this division. Next team up are the Carolina Panthers. It is now Baker Mayfield's show in Carolina. That, plus a healthy Christian McCaffrey, could help this team make the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. It is too soon to tell, however, if Baker can actually make these things happen. Their defense is less than formidable, and there are just far too many question marks about this team to win the division. Lastly, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons pretty much conceded their season when they named Marcus Mariota the starting quarterback, in my opinion. They have some bright spots on their offense like Kyle Pitts and big receiver Drake London. Outside of them, there isn't much to be excited about. By process of elimination, the Bucs will win the division. And the last division for the NFC will be the NFC West. First up, we have the Seattle Seahawks. They opted for journeyman veteran quarterback Geno Smith to be their starter. I don't see him as a starter for the whole season. It's only going to be a matter of time where he struggles and the Seahawks move on from him. Their one bright spot, however, on offense is Rashad Penny. He capped off last year on an impressive run, and assuming that he can stay healthy, he is set to have another strong run. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers have opted for Trey Lance to be their starter. He is going to struggle more times than not this year. They also have a revolving door running back because none of them can stay healthy. They do have Deebo Samuel, who plugs in at running back and receiver, so they will supplement through that. However, he won't be enough to help this team and their young quarterback win the division. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are a team that will play better after Week 7 than before. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for the first 6 games of the season, and until he returns, this offense will struggle. Once he's back, they will run out 2 top receivers in Hopkins and Brown. Pairing them with Kyler Murray, who runs just as well as he throws the deep ball, will be a handful for any defense that comes their way. Lastly, for the NFC West, we have the LA Rams. The Super Bowl champions are looking to make a run at back-to-back championships. They still have Matthew Stafford, but he is dealing with a nagging elbow injury. They also have Cooper Kupp, who is looking to go for his Triple Crown achievement in back-to-back years. The offense is limited to just them, though. Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL, and then he wasn't re-signed by the team. The defense is also missing Von Miller, who was a late addition to the team that pushed them to the Super Bowl. He is now on the Super Bowl hopeful team of the Buffalo Bills. For those reasons, I don't believe that they'll win this division this year. The Arizona Cardinals are going to win this division this year just as soon as Hopkins is back. Well, that's about all they want to cover in this video. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and thank you for tuning into the House Report. Be sure to tune in for my next video as I make my predictions for Week 2. Lastly, for all my betting friends out there, remember, you win some and you lose some, but the house always wins.